special session of the parliament is underway and the Prime Minister opened up the debate in Lok Sabha. But before that came a big message of intent when the Prime Minister in fact was addressing the media just before the session was about to begin, where the Prime Minister said that this session is going to be about historic decisions. He in fact also made it very clear to the opposition that, let's forget about the bad deeds in the past. Let's move together with new energy, with new dreams. And he said, ab rona dhona chhodiye, ab aage badhiye. This is a short session, but let's make sure that this session is fruitful. Sabse pehle aapko sunate what the Prime Minister said right before the session began.
ये सत्र छोटा है, लेकिन समय के हिसाब से ये बहुत बड़ा है। ऐतिहासिक निर्णयों का एक सत्र है। ये सत्र की एक विशेषता ये तो है कि अब 75 साल की यात्रा अब नए मुकाम से आरंभ हो रही है। मैं सभी आदरणीय सांसदों से आग्रह करता हूं कि छोटा सत्र है, ज्यादा से ज्यादा समय उनका मिले, उमंग और उत्साह के वातावरण में मिले। रोने धोने के लिए बहुत समय होता है, करते रहिए।
Well, we have Aishwarya joining us on the broadcast now. Aishwarya, we just played out that reaction when the Prime Minister spoke ahead of the session, and he gave the biggest hint, said this session is going to be about historic decisions. Along with that, a jibe at the opposition as well when he said ki rona dhona chhodiye. It's a small session. Let's make sure that it's fruitful. Let's cooperate to make it a successful one.
Well, certainly, that's the message that Prime Minister gave just before the Parliament session, talking to media, gave a hint that this is going to be historic. But what we know so far is that today it would be different member of parliamentarians who will be speaking about the journey of India, the 75 years of parliamentarian democracy. That's what the agenda is, to remember, recall and tell about the learnings of the parliamentarian democracy for the last 75 years. Tomorrow it would be a very important day. It would be shifting from an old parliament building to new parliament building with a small puja ceremony. Of course, as Om Birla Lok Sabha Speaker also mentioned that tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. there would be a group photograph of both the Lok Sabha Member of Parliament and Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament, and therefore soon after that they would be sitting in the new parliament session. But many are saying that of course it would be day after or it would be on 20th or 22nd that something big can come up, and that's the Prime Minister also gave, that it's going to be historic. Of course it's a short session, but let's forget about the evil past and think about the good future, and certainly that's something that the entire opposition is saying, that there could be a secret agenda that government might reveal, not today, not tomorrow, but day after as well.
Right, Aishwarya, thank you for getting us those details. Let me quickly open up the debate here, and we have guests joining us. We have Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst, Parvinder Sethi, also political analyst, and Charu Pragya, your spokesperson of the BJP. Let me begin with you, Advocate Jain. Now, while speaking inside the Parliament, of course, outside the Parliament, the Prime Minister said it's a short session. Opposition ko rona dhona chhod dena chahiye, and we should make sure that it's a fruitful one, it's a successful one. Inside the Parliament, the Prime Minister gave credit where it's due. He mentioned the contribution of all the Prime Ministers while talking about the old Parliament building.
Swati, I don't understand why does the Prime Minister of India has to speak in this pedestrian language that he's calling honorable members of the Parliament as rona dhona chhod dijiye. I don't understand why can the Prime Minister not maintain simple decorum, and I've been trying to make this point since the morning that the BJP has been harpooning about this one fact that we are celebrating 75 years. I'm not sure what is wrong with the mathematics. Of course, Piyush Goyal says that don't get into the mathematics, that did not help Einstein discover gravity, but maths is important. India has been an independent country for 76 years and 1 month. Then how are we celebrating 75 years today? This should have happened a year ago. If it's about the new parliament building, we did have a sitting of the members of the parliament in the new building 4 months ago in May. Then what is it that the Prime Minister wants to celebrate today? There are four bills that have been put in the agenda. None of those bills are such that a special session would have been called for them. You're talking about Constituent Assembly, that again 76 years, 9 months ago happened. 75 years to Constitution adoption has not happened. I do not at all understand why is this session happening. Why does the Prime Minister have to make everything about himself?
Okay, before I take a quick counter from Charu Pragya, let's once again listen into what the Prime Minister said when he opened the discussion in Lok Sabha.
मैं पहली बार जब संसद का सदस्य बना और पहली बार एक सांसद के रूप में इस भवन में मैंने प्रवेश किया तो सहज रूप से मैंने इस संसद भवन के डोर पक्ति पर अपना शीश झुका करके इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर को श्रद्धा भाव से नमन करते हुए मैंने पैर रखा था। वो पल मेरे लिए भावनाओं से भरी हुई थी। मैं कल्पना नहीं कर सकता था, लेकिन भारत के लोकतंत्र की ताकत है, भारत के सामान्य मानवी की लोकतंत्र के प्रति श्रद्धा का प्रतिबिंब है कि रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म पर गुजारा करने वाला एक गरीब परिवार का बच्चा पार्लियामेंट पहुंच गया था। मैंने कभी कल्पना तक नहीं की कि देश मुझे इतना सम्मान देगा, इतना आशीर्वाद देगा, इतना प्यार देगा। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, लोकतंत्र का ये सदन आतंकी हमला हुआ, पूरे विश्व में यह आतंकी हमला एक इमारत पर नहीं था, ये मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी एक प्रकार से हमारी जीवात्मा पर यह हमला था। ये देश उस घटना को कभी भूल नहीं सकता है, लेकिन आतंकियों से लड़ते लड़ते सदन को बचाने के लिए और हर सदस्य को बचाने के लिए जिन्होंने अपने सीने पर गोलियां झेली, आज मैं उनको भी नमन करता हूं। हमारे बीच नहीं है, लेकिन उन्होंने बहुत बड़ी रक्षा की है।
All right, Charu Pragya, Advocate Jain and many in the opposition in fact are questioning as to what is so special about this session. The bills that you're talking about, the agenda that you placed so far could have been taken up in the winter session as well.
Swati, first of all, the Prime Minister has been extremely gracious today, and it's a moment which is full of emotion for everyone, present parliamentarians of the past and those who aspire to be in this beautiful building of the future. So let's just understand that even though maybe Nikhil can write off this momentous occasion, most of us in this democracy can't. They are the ones who made sure that the entire last session was entirely wasted. All of it was wasted. They demanded for the Honorable Prime Minister to speak. The minute he started speaking, they staged a walked out, and then they are saying Parliament kaam nahi kar rahi hai. Pichli baar bhi jab Parliament kaam kar rahi thi, bills were introduced, you did not even bother to read what was on the agenda of the House, let alone vote for it. So that is actually a very destructive approach to the Indian democracy, which the opposition needs to get out of. I think an occasion such as this, a shift from the old to the new,
right,
a vision of India which is futuristic, which is one of leadership, not just for this country but globally, is an important occasion. It's a huge occasion. I think all of us today are witnessing history being made in action.
Mr. Sethi, now everybody of course wants to know, ever since the Prime Minister said this session is going to be about historic decisions, what is that going to be? What is the historic decision? Did you get any hints from what he said in the Parliament?
नहीं, देखिए, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं और देश की बागडोर उनके हाथ में है।
जी।
कभी वो कहते हैं कि आप रोना धोना छोड़ दीजिए। अरे आप कुछ ऐसा करिए ना जिससे देश की जनता का, देश के गरीब आदमी का, देश के मजदूर का, देश के दलित का, देश के आदिवासी का भला हो। 750 किसान मर जाते हैं, 13 महीने किसान बैठे रहते हैं, उनके लिए आप क्या करते हो? खिलाड़ी 3 महीने जंतर मंतर पे बैठे रहते हैं, उनके लिए आप क्या करते हो? आप जो गरीब आदमी है, मजदूर आदमी है, जो सरकारी जॉब्स आपने खत्म कर दी हैं, जो प्राइवेट जॉब्स जो हैं वो सारी बड़ी कंपनियों ने फ्रीज कर रखी है। आपने अमीर आदमियों को, अपने दोस्तों को बेनिफिट दिए हैं, आप गरीब आदमी के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं? आप मजदूर के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं? आप मेरे को बताइए।
रोने धोने की बात तो उन्होंने विपक्ष के लिए कही थी। नहीं, रोना धोना तो विपक्ष के लिए था, रोना धोना जनता के लिए नहीं था। ठीक है, चारू प्रज्ञा, बिफोर आई टेक अ ब्रेक, क्विक रिमार्क। ठीक है, 5 सेकंड।
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, जो भी प्रधानमंत्री को चुना जाता है, देश के लोग चुनते हैं, उनका दैट इज देयर जॉब। उन्होंने देश के लिए काम करना है, उसके डेवलपमेंट के लिए काम करना है। कभी राखी आती है, वो 200 रुपए सिलेंडर के कम करते हैं, वो कहते हैं मेरा बहनों को तोहफा। अरे आपके पिताजी का पैसा थोड़ी है। आपने 300 रुपए का सिलेंडर 1100 रुपए का कर दिया। आपने 3 रुपए किलो का टमाटर 300 रुपए किलो कर दिया। आप देश की भागदौड़ संभाल नहीं पा रहे, आप विपक्ष को साथ ले जा नहीं पा रहे।
ऑन वन साइड दे से आप देश के गरीबों के लिए क्या करते हैं? व्हेन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर अनाउंसेस अ स्कीम ऑफ 15,000 crores for the people who work in the space of handicraft, the Vishwakarma Yojana, they have nothing to say about it. They completely pretend all these yojanas, all these policies
ग्राउंड लेवल पे क्या है? इम्प्लीमेंट होंगी तो बात करेंगे ना। जब ये बातें इम्प्लीमेंट होंगी, ये योजनाएं बनती चली जाती हैं। आप किसानों के लिए योजनाएं बनाते गए और 750 किसानों की डेथ हो जाती है।
How many employment solutions have been created? Two of you, and I don't understand the reason for this disruption which you want to do both in parliament and on debates. सर, मैं आपको जब जवाब देना चाहती हूँ, आप क्या उसको सही तरीके से
मैं सुन रहा हूँ, आप बोलिए।
तो आप सुन लीजिए, क्योंकि ये this is their policy. When I want to talk about the Vishwakarma Yojana, which is empowering so many lakhs of craftsmen across my nation, where there is a scheme in place like so many others, like Startup India, Stand Up India schemes for women, Mudra Yojana. They want to pretend none of that exists. They'd rather disrupt than talk on facts. They would rather disrupt than understand that the Prime Minister's vision for this nation takes India है।
आप मुझे बताइए ना, किसानों के लिए आप योजना लेके आते हैं, 13 महीने किसान क्यों बैठता बॉर्डर पे? 13 महीने किसान क्यों बैठता बॉर्डर पे? 10 लाख किसान सड़कों पे आते हैं, 750 किसान अपनी जान दे देते हैं। आप खिलाड़ियों के बारे में बात करिए। अगर एक खिलाड़ी जिन्होंने देश
take a very short break. एक छोटा सा break लेके we'll be back and our guests will continue to be with us. All eyes, of course, are on what the Prime Minister said. He said this session is going to be a historic one. So everybody now wants to know what is going to happen in the next 4 days in this special session. What are going to be those historic decisions taken by the government? A quick break.